is Valley News Live at 4.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news. Fargo City Commission just voted to suspend Africa Restaurant and Nightclub's liquor license for 60 days. At the same time, the club is announcing a change in leadership. Valley News Team's JC Dodd spoke with the newly appointed general manager. She's live in our newsroom with details. JC?
Well, Stacy, at the special City Commission meeting today, Police Chief David Zabowski urged the City Commission to immediately suspend the liquor license due to public safety concerns if the Africa Restaurant and Nightclub were to continue serving alcohol. City Commissioner Arlette Preston asked why the Liquor Control Board was recommending just a suspension and not a revocation of the liquor license. The answer? They need more time to gather information surrounding the confusion of ownership, management, and conduct, and to investigate if more laws were broken. Up until today, Francis Brown has been addressed as the owner of the nightclub, but at the meeting, the attorney for the club dropped a bombshell. Brown was announced the owner. He was the manager, but will no longer be an employee of the club. As of this morning, attorney Stephen Baird will now serve as the new general manager of the nightclub, and he says he plans to rebuild the integrity and conduct of the club.
Complete overhaul of policies, and both with employment and with serving and with security. Really just everything ground up. Everything needs to change.
Baird says he understands a long list of instances brought to light by the chief and that he hopes after the 60-day suspension he can get a second chance to turn the reputation of the Africa Restaurant Nightclub around. Live in the newsroom, JC Dodd, Valley News Live.
Thanks, JC. For now, the restaurant portion of the nightclub will remain closed. The club's attorney turned general manager says he doesn't know when they'll be back open. Solomon Pendleton, the man facing murder charges for the deaths of his mother and Grand Forks police officer Cody Hulte, is in court for his trial. After opening statements today, the first witness on the stand was the owner of the apartment complex, who shared what he saw in Pendleton's unit after the incident.
Bullet holes everywhere, blood. But everywhere, hallways, stairways. The unit was in real tough shape. Appliances, I mean, bullet holes in windows, it's just, I don't know.
Stoves.
Damage,
fridge.
Yeah, stoves, fridge, damage everywhere, gunfire.
The trial is expected to run through July 16th. Now here's Hutch with a first look at your forecast. Hutch?
Stacy, thanks so much. We do have a few clouds out there, but the heat is on as we're near 90 degrees here in the FM area, and Grand Forks at 91. From the Red River Valley counties of Minnesota out to the west, that's where the real heat is, and a noticeable cooler trend out in central Minnesota, where in Bemidji you have 83 degrees. Crystal clear skies for us, a few clouds drifting down to the south and to the west. Fair weather clouds in Fargo, and we stay near 90 all the way to sunset. After that, we quickly see temperatures drop into the 70s and even 60s into the overnight. Your Thursday night planner, Grand Forks, similarly very hot all the way till sunset. Quiet conditions through the overnight, and in fact very hot with high fire danger as we go through the holiday weekend. I'll have hour-by-hour details on what you can expect, and we'll detail a couple of chances of rain this weekend here in a moment.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch. Fargo police say they have an idea of who started the fire at the Fry and Pan restaurant last month, but they need your help finding it. Police hope to charge 29-year-old Nathan Oren with aggravated endangering by fire. He's 5'11", 158 pounds with brown eyes and brown hair. Oren is suspected of starting a fire in a dumpster back on June 14th. The fire spread to the roof of the building, causing about $5,000 in damages. It was just one of a string of dumpster fires that occurred that week. Firefighters are still on the scene of a garage fire in Moorhead. The two-alarm fire started around 1:30 this afternoon at 415 16th Street North. Firefighters from Fargo and Dilworth were called in to help contain that blaze as it spread into the home. No one was hurt, but a cat died from smoke inhalation. No word yet on what started the fire. A man is in the Barnes County Jail after police seized several marijuana plants from his apartment. Authorities in Valley City were tipped off to the growing operation after smelling the plants through a vent. They got a search warrant for the apartment in the 600 block of 11th Avenue Southwest. They arrested 32-year-old Sean Krall for possession with intent to manufacture. Valley City police say more charges are expected in the future. Today marks the last day of COVID vaccinations at the former Gordman's building for Sanford Health. They're shifting their focus to getting patients vaccinated at their doctor's offices. When they took over the former department store building, they were vaccinating more than 1,000 people per day. Today, just 62 patients were among the last to receive their shots. Across all of its clinics, Sanford has vaccinated more than 170,000 patients. Nearly a third came from the Gordman's Clinic. If you're looking for places to get the vaccine, use our VNL vaccine tracker. It's on the homepage of our website, or you can open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up. President Biden is in Florida today visiting the site of the deadly building collapse in Surfside. Search and rescue operations are paused, with the death toll so far climbing to 18 and 145 people still unaccounted for. Skylar Henry has this story from the White House.
I just wanted to come down and say thanks.
President Biden met with first responders, thanking them for their painstaking search and rescue in the rubble of the Surfside building collapse.
What you're doing here is incredible.
The president held a private meeting with family members, many of them still waiting for word of their loved ones, a week after the 12-story building came crashing down.
There's going to be a lot of pain and anxiety and suffering, and even need for psychological help in the days and months that follow. And so we're not going anywhere.
The search for victims was paused overnight because of concerns about the stability of the portion of the building still standing.
We're doing everything we can to ensure that the safety of our first responders is paramount, and to continue our search and rescue operation as soon as it is safe to do so.
Engineers are on site to assess shifting of the structure.
Concern assessors included 6 to 12 inches of movement in a large column hanging from the structure that could fall and cause damage to the support columns in the subterranean garage area.
President Biden waited a week to visit Surfside to avoid interrupting the rescue efforts. In the meantime, he deployed federal assistance to support state and local responders. A specialist with Miami-Dade Fire Rescue spoke about the painstaking search for victims and the grief of the family members.
We need to find things for the family members that are surviving that we can bring to them so they can feel some kind of sense of nearness to their families.
Commanders are hoping the president's visit will bring comfort in the midst of so much sadness. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
No word yet on when emergency crews will resume their search. The Trump Organization and its longtime finance chief each pleaded not guilty to tax crime charges today. The charges come from a 2-year investigation into former President Trump's company. The Manhattan DA alleges that the company has cheated the city and state out of taxes since 2005 by conspiring to pay senior executives under the table. The CFO was led into the courtroom in handcuffs this morning. Prosecutors hope to pressure him into cooperating with them, as his intimate knowledge of the company could help with the ongoing probe. If you haven't gotten your 2020 tax refund, you're in good company. At the end of the 2021 filing season in May, the IRS still had a backlog of 35 million tax returns that need to be manually processed. That's nearly 3 times larger than the backlog in 2020 and a 4-fold increase from 2019. The report says the pandemic and a shutdown to curb the spread of the disease is mostly to blame for the pileup. There's a new treatment available for South Dakotans with certain medical conditions. Marijuana. Medical marijuana is now legal in South Dakota, and with that, the first dispensary is also open. Here's a look at opening day at Native Nations Cannabis Dispensary north of Sioux Falls, where people were lined up outside for the opening. However, there are rules in place regarding who can purchase and use medical marijuana. The list of conditions includes seizures, cancer, and MS. The state health department is expected to add more conditions as the program gets underway. They say it's bigger and better than ever. The third Moorhead Cruz Night is tonight. Organizers say it's expected to be the biggest yet, with more than 400 cars. There's a band playing and food trucks. That event starts at 5 and will go until 8:30. And there's something pretty special going on tonight at Cruz Night. Pay It Forward Ministries is giving away a car to a woman in need of transportation.
The cars are donated to us by members in our community. We go through the car and test it, check everything over to make sure there's no safety concerns. There's nothing that makes us think that they're not going to be a reliable car for these people to use for the future.
The group works with various organizations who recommend people in need of transportation. Valley News Team's Mike Morkin will bring us this story live tonight on Valley News Live at 6. Coming up, the new push to get your family to the park. How area park districts are joining together to get people moving.
But next, hot weather across the valley today where high temperatures hit that 90-degree mark in many locations, including Grand Forks and Jamestown Lakes Country. Plenty warm as well. The heat continues right into your holiday weekend. I'll have what you can expect. Join me. Valley News Live at First Alert Weather is next.